My name is Jennifer Proant, and I apologize. I'm recording this in my car. I'm the passenger, I'm not the driver, so don't worry, I'm not going to wreck. So the first question on Module 5 is we're talking about social psychology. You have the two scenarios. Olivia wants to cancel her newspaper subscription because she is tired of hearing about the violence and tragedy of the world and her community, and it's too depressing. And then you also have City Council cutting funds to schools in order to compensate for budget cuts. Teachers are fired, programs are cut. So the first question is, which of the acts mentioned above do you feel constitutes aggression? I could see there would be more aggression with the second scenario, with the budget cuts, because it's actually affecting another person because someone is losing their job. The first one, I don't see that it really constitutes as aggression because it just makes you sad because of the tragedy in the world and you want to cancel your newspaper subscription. Which now leads to the second question, is intentionally hurting another person is what constitutes aggression. So I don't feel that any one of those would directly constitute aggression. Except for maybe the second one a little bit more, because, you know, if you're fired, obviously that's going to elicit a lot of emotion, and you're probably going to be very agitated. But it's not done intentionally to hurt somebody. You know, they're not saying, oh, well, we're going to fire Tammy today because, just make her mad, but that's not the case. So, which now leads to the third question is there a difference between doing something in order to hurt someone and doing something that you are not sure will hurt someone, but you do it anyway? Yeah, clearly there's a difference in that. So, I'm going to go run over little Billy with my car because I know it's going to kill him. Well, yeah, there's something wrong with that. And then, doing something like, a good example is, a police officer in a police chase. He knows that if he does a pit maneuver in a highway where there is other cars going down the road, he has to weigh his options as to whether or not that is going to be a good time to do that, because it could end up hurting somebody else. So clearly there is a huge difference in, doing something to hurt somebody intentionally and doing something that will hurt someone, but you don't know if it'll hurt someone, but you do it anyway. So, and it's a case-by-case scenario, in my opinion. According to instinct theory of aggression, why are humans aggressive? When you're dealing with, Freud's theory of thirst and hunger and ethos and Thanos, he has the theory that aggression is built into that and it is innate, and we are born with it, which I believe in. If psychologists wanted to reduce the amount of violence in their community, what programs would instinct theory suggest that they implement? If they're wanting to reduce the amount of violence in the community, I think that there needs to be better mental health available to the community, community coming together as one instead of being divided all the time. I think that would probably be pretty good for reducing violence in the community. And what do frustration and aggression theorists explain the situation that is going on overseas, and what types of programs would psychologists from this school of thought implement to reduce hostility overseas? Okay, so this is something that I've actually discussed with in detail with my husband, because he was a soldier overseas. So I kind of got his take on how things, kind of were over there. So the agitation and aggression part of it is whenever you have 120-degree heat, men filled with testosterone, crowded in a fob unit, with no personal space, you're smelling the same person every day for like a year, and it's BO. Or on the other hand, you're dealing with bombings and burning buildings and burning bodies on top of it. That's going to elicit a lot of aggression and agitation. And in this environment, this is war. It's not meant to be lollipops and rainbows. It's going to be aggressive. And unfortunately, for us to fight a war, our soldiers are going to have that going on in their mind. So what they could do to better that situation is probably better living quarters for the soldiers whenever they're overseas. Maybe not sleeping, a foot away from someone who smells like butt and, nasty socks and, dead carcasses would probably be a good start. Better food, because we know our soldiers aren't eating very good over there. It's not like, they're at home having a home cooked meal. Weights to blow off steam, letting them be able to utilize, something like that to where they're not letting all of their frustration out on the battlefield. They can get that out in a different way. But like I said, war, it's still war. So, there's still going to be aggression and agitation, and you have men around each other and they kind of like feed off of one another sometimes. So, that's just my take on it. So thanks for listening, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks. Have a good day.